Chapter 3806. You are listening at FameTV.info. Does the woman have an unborn child in her arms? Sulyosu frowned and thought, whose child is this? Is it Jian Tang /S. Wu Suji hid in the cave? When she heard this, her face turned white. How could Wu Tian know? She was very anxious at this time. The child in her belly would be a very favorable threat chip for these strong men who were no different from butchers. June, I really don't know how to spend this catastrophe. Wu Suji couldn't help thinking of Jian Tang. At this time, he might still be looking for Yunlingua in the mountains. Yunlingua has a miraculous effect on pregnant female martial artists. When a newborn baby is taken, his constitution will become strong, and even the time of pulse opening will come in advance. Wu Suji, who used to be today, had fantasized about countless beautiful and happy pictures. There is no need to seek benefits for the clan and family, hide in the supervision department for many years as an undercover, let alone be frightened and beware of being chased and killed all the time. She only hopes to live with Jian Tang and stay with her children when she gets old one day. Oh! Wu Suji suddenly stopped thinking and was paralyzed by the sharp pain from her abdomen. Her consciousness gradually fainted, and cold sweat rustled down on her charming face. Child, you can be born now. Just for my father and mother, let me bear it again. Wu Suji begged in her heart, but the more I think about it, the sharp pain in my abdomen is like the rising tide of the sea, constantly beating my body. The pain made Wu Suji bend over and hold the rock wall, and her silver teeth clenched. Oh! Outside the cave, Wu Suji breath became weaker and weaker, and Mo Shan muddy eyes gradually lit up a light. Mo Shan noticed this, and Wu Tian and Killer Xian Luo naturally noticed it. This is a golden opportunity. They can wait any longer. If Jian Tang comes back, it will be much more difficult to kill Wu Suji or to find out the secret report of the file from her mouth. Wu Tian flew down directly from the top of the mountain. He fell in front of the cave, frowned, stared at the sword seal array at the entrance of the mountain, took a deep breath. The sword finger suddenly stood up, and the long sword behind him clanked out of its scabbard and hung on his head. Oh! He also an expert with a sword. Mo Shan stood still. Seeing this, he sighed secretly. Cut. Wu Tian sword finger pierced the sky, and the dark blue sword flew away automatically, and then cut down sharply into the cave. The blue Xian sword was cut off. Suddenly, the dark light in the cave mouth suddenly changed. A huge sword of 3 feet seemed to have been waiting for a long time. He fought back against the Xian sword and directly cut the Xian sword into 2 pieces. Poof! Wu Tian body suddenly shook, his face turned white, vomited blood, and his body was knocked to the ground by an invisible shock. It not what I expected. Mo Shan looked at all this, his eyes lit up and said in a dark way. The woman loved by Lord Zhou is in the cave. After he left, how can he not arrange it carefully? Ha ha! He shook his head and stared at Wu Tian, who fell to the ground in a disdainful look. Do you know how powerful the master kendo is? It not comparable to the sword cultivation of southern aristocratic families like you. Wu Tian was shocked by the sword power. Unwilling to wipe the blood from the corners of his mouth, he stood up again. He really didn't expect that Jiantang means should be so terrible. Wu Tian looked back, stared at Mo Shan and said, Lord Saiku, when will you stay if you don't start at this time? You should know more about the bullying of Jian Tang than I do. I am afraid we won win if you count in when he comes back. You can read the novel online free at Novel Hall. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.